I know that, lads, but my point is, I don't think if we were 14th in the league...
But we wouldn't have been fucking 14th.
Yeah, that's the point. That's my whole point.
If we were 14th, there'd be people murdered. That's it. we would have never got to 14th.
Right, okay.
You sort all out before you get to 14. Once you're 14, it's too late.
Your manager was still slaughtering you.
There's 3 young kids dead in the corner from the academy.
Your manager was slaughtering you when you're winning things.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have had 4 days off, would you?
Oh, yeah, true enough.
14th in the league.
Who said it? Who got upset a few weeks ago? Ganacho, the young kid.
Yes, Ganacho.
He said he got booed or something before that.
Somebody did. They made some
comments
to him, yeah.
We used to get booed off, and we were winning every week. Lads, get real.
And it was you booing them?
Yeah, but if you're only 1-0 up, but it was not good enough.
I know.
These lads are getting upset because some YouTube balloon is going, you need to run back. Of course you need to run back. You don't need that idiot to tell you.
We'll get back to Roy and Gary and the gang in just a few seconds. But just remember, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. And put all your thoughts in the comments too. And while you're watching this clip, I want you to think about one thing. And I want you to answer this question for me. Was Marcus Rashford and Casemiro right in flying out to the USA on a trip when they should be at training, with the new manager coming in and a whole new regime taking over? Did it send out a good message? If it did, fine. Let me know in the comments. If it didn't, if you think they should have done something else, please tell me what that is in the comments. And remember, after the clip, I will give my thoughts on this whole situation. Let's get back to the gang.
We were just talking before Righty and Jill, you came in, we were talking about Casemiro and Marcus going to the basketball game in the US.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
We were saying I think the criticism that they've received isn't necessarily for the right things, the idea, someone said over what he was wearing and shit like, which is just rubbish. But would you travel 12 hours to a destination when you've got 3 or 4 days off, and then you've got 8 hours, obviously, time difference, the jet lag going to America, you've been to that west side of America, when you obviously you've had bad results, you're trying to prepare for a new manager coming in for the Tuesday. Would you do... I wouldn't do that. I'm just saying, I'm not jumping up and down about it. Would you do that as a point of view? That was the thing that surprised me.
In my time off, if it's my time...
if it's 3 or 4 days,
I'd do it.
You would?
I would do it simply because it's my time, innit?
I know, but...
I'm do it.
Yeah, but 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, but the thing is that you go and, like, if you're going for 3 or 4 days, then that jet lag's not going to cause you too much of a problem.
Do you think so?
I don't think so.
Oh, I think it hits you hard.
He's not going to be in premium
if we're talking
economy,
about,
though, is he?
if we're talking about...
He's going to be in a full-on bed.
Yeah, but you're still on a
probably would.
flight, though. You're still on a flight.
You know what I mean? For that reason, Gal, I'd probably go for that bam, and you step, and then you come back and you're on the same time.
Mm. But then all right, I'll ask you this question.
It's more the situation, isn't it?
Yeah, Ruben Amorim, the manager, would he think, OK, that's what I'd want my player doing, preparing for my first training session, being 12 hours away? If you're Casemiro, 30-odd years of age, we've been struggling, would you want them on a 12-hour flight and 8-hour time difference, 3 or 4 days? Would you, if you're Amorim, would Amorim look at it and think, yeah, that's the right thing to do, guys, well done?
Probably not. But then you look
But that's the point. Would that then...
Do you think he's told them that he's going?
Probably. But you look at Casemiro. Casemiro, as an experienced player, he feels like, I'm gonna do that. It's his choice. Maybe he's coming towards the end. He might be thinking, well, whatever you do, I'm not really fussed. And in respect of the other players who are going, it's just their decision. If it's a bad decision from them, from Amorim's point of view, then he'll relay that, won't he?
Has it become acceptable? I mean, I'm nearly 50 now, so it's 15 years since I was living that way of a professional football player, thinking about how the standards needed to be. I'd be looking at, I think, one of my teammates thinking, we got a game. You know what I mean? I'm thinking...
Different time, I think, with the way the players think about it.
No, they're more professional than us. I think they're more professional now than we are. I genuinely believe that.
And they've got more scope to go and do more things. They can fly off there and come back in time before they get their jet lag kicks in. They can do all that.
I mean, maybe, look, I just think from a professionalism point of view, look at the details, I just think... I'd ask the question, would my new manager want to see me there? Would the fans at this point...
But they would have had that book. They would have had the international break sorted out before a couple of weeks ago and said, we're going to go there for a few days. Yeah. And it's obviously a head job.
What do you think of it, Roy?
I wouldn't be a big fan of it, but I wouldn't be... If you didn't bring it up, I wouldn't have been annoyed.
If you was a new manager, would you be like...
No, I would have thought there's bigger stuff to worry about than what...
That's the only thing, Gal.
But don't get me wrong, if they're training during the week, you think you look a bit sluggish, lads, all that type of thing. But with a new manager coming in, we saw pictures, everyone's obviously smiling and they're all happy.
Of course they are.
Good PR. New manager.
It's changed everything.
Yeah, it's great. Everyone's happy.
It's brilliant.
He's not playing well, is he?
No. He scored 1 goal in 11 Premier League
Who?
games.
Marcus.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he can't go away either. That's the other side of it.
I
I want
think
him
you've
to
got to
go
be a
away.
bit
I want
more
him to rest.
careful, though.
No, I think it does, though. I don't think we
Well, he
do,
thinks
would we?
it's a
We're
rest.
14 in the Premier League, really struggling. And then you've got 3 or 4 there. I don't think any of us will be going to America.
We wouldn't be seen.
We won't
I
be
wouldn't
seen, you'd be-
I wouldn't be seen.
Different time, different Man United.
No,
That's the thing, we have to accept that as well. As much as you know that it's
I'm
like something you
conscious
would have
of that.
done.
I'm conscious of this prehistoric view that, back in my day we would have
It's
done
not prehistoric. At the time, that's why you won what you won. You had a different attitude towards
No,
it.
I think, honestly, for me, if you... not being seen and going under the radar and making sure the perception of you is that, I accept he's got to go away, he's got to rest, he's got to go with his family, his friends. I've no problem with that. I want him to do that. But there's just an element of giving yourself an easy life. If he doesn't play well on Sunday,
Of course.
Yeah.
you know what's coming,
then-
right?
Yeah.
So make life easier for yourself in respect of the people around you, who you have got, what you tell you.
That isn't a rest, though, is it?
It's not a rest.
Well,
that.
mentally, no, but mentally it is, lads. Mentally they might go in and go, I just recharge the batteries by going to the States or whatever. I get that side of it, like physically and all that, of course.
If they can take the chance that, I know that this is going to come on top if I don't play well, then they're accepted what
And they've got the
will
full
come.
week, and the game's on
Do you know what I mean,
Sunday.
Scotty?
It puts
It's in
yourself
such a
under
way,
pressure,
you're
doesn't
It
thinking...
puts you under pressure, but
But they
then
don't care.
all of a sudden,
Yeah.
and you see how quickly it can change. If he does do well in his first game, or if he plays it, let's say the next 2-3 games he scores, no one cares. It goes somewhere else because all of a sudden it doesn't matter to people anymore. And this is why, as much as I know you've got concerns about it, it's so quickly it's gone.
I think posting it on social media as well, I know people are going to know, but him posting it, he must know he's going to get something of why are you doing that? There was loads of posts on social media, I've seen loads of it, but I do think you do
what
have
they were
to...
doing when they were...
Yeah, just getting shirts and whatever else. But I do agree that if you're not playing well, I think you do have to be more mindful. When we played, if you were doing well, girls got a little bit more of a leeway on things because you're so accountable to your performance on a weekend. So if you can do both and still play well...
But I
do think you have to
the
be
players now,
mindful.
for Rashford, these other lads, going to the States and going private jets and whatever they're doing in basketball, whatever, that's the norm for them.
Yeah.
We're sitting there going all the way to the States. They're like, yeah, the States is no big deal. As much as we could sit here and go, long flight, jet lag, and we know they're not sitting on the back of a plane, and it's private stuff and it's all proper stuff, but that's their norm now.
Yeah.
That's not... If they were sitting here, they'd be like, what are you talking about, lads?
Yeah, what
This
are you
is,
on
this is
about?
my life. This is what I do. I do all this stuff and all the other stuff I do that you don't even realise when we get one night off. Some lads get one night off. People go Paris or that's their lives. That is the norm.
That's what they're
for 'em.
capable of doing now.
Absolutely.
Loads
And
of
it
the
seems
players...
as well, sorry, go on,
No,
Jim.
I was going to say loads of the players will have done stuff, like the players in international breaks that aren't away, but it's just because there's so much focus on him. Do you know what I mean? Loads of them players will have gone...
I don't think
and
it's so much Jim, I think it's what he's doing.
Maybe that could be again, if you want to be really awkward about it and we just say players go away and then they're not playing well. I don't know sometimes where they don't want to go away and go wherever you want, but lay low, get a proper top
Yes,
hotel and
yeah,
recharge the batteries. And
Yeah.
I know lads they want to go to sporting events or concerts, but then you go, well, that's where you're maybe
I agree
caught
with that.
yourself a little bit.
You
out.
agree
Yeah,
with that?
you have to lay low, don't
A
you?
little bit,
Especially
maybe.
in this situation.
I think the professionalism, looking after your body, making sure you're best prepared for the next training session is absolutely critical to every decision you make during the season.
Yeah, but it's not just about physical stuff now.
I
is
get
it?
that. So he's got to have a mental break. He's got to get away. He's got to rest. He's got to be with friends. He's got to be... Then you're talking about the choice of venue. You're talking about, right, how far do I fly?
Exactly, yeah.
What's the time difference? Is that going to give me a jet lag issue? Is that going to give me a stiffness issue because I've been on a flight for 12 hours, even though it might be a private jet? You're still laying down and sitting down for
Probably
most
got
of it.
masseuse. What's if you've got a masseuse on there? Could you have a masseuse on there, bro? Thank you. What if you've got a masseuse on there?
yeah, I
What if
don't-
he's got somebody who's just mumbling, you will sleep?
I'm going to talk about Casemiro more than Rashford, to be honest, because if I'm 30-odd-year-old and I'm looking after my body, and look, he's won 5 Champions Leagues, so he's an unbelievable player.
We
But
love
I
that one, whatever he's doing. He's won 5 Champions League. Don't kill somebody. It's all right.
He could
won
have
5 Champions
been
League.
away with Brazil for 10 days, though, couldn't he?
Yeah, but my point
It's
is,
a-
do you know
it's a lot easier
if he
than
was
that.
away with Brazil for 10 days, do you know what we'd say? We'd say, oh, he could be struggling this weekend because he's been away with Brazil. They've chosen to go away to Brazil, effectively. They've chosen to go on an international break
Have been
almost.
called up.
No, Casemiro and Rashford are not playing for internationals. But
Okay.
they've chosen to.
Okay,
they've chosen almost to take an international break to Brazil, 12 hours away, whatever it is, in Portland, and have an 8-hour jet lag. They've chosen that, and I think from a professionalism point of view, look, I'm I'm not jumping up and down, but I just think it tells.
If
you're talking about the minor details of being as professional as you can be and the best prepared you can be for a training session on a Monday or a Tuesday, that isn't the best choice of venue to go.
Did you ever go on a break during the season?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Where would you?
The furthest I ever went was when we went with United to Dubai once, didn't we?
No, but did you not go away when you had a few days yourself? If you had an injury, Barbados?
To be fair, I never was aware. No, to be fair.
The manager used to send players to an injury or something like this, yeah.
I was always with internationals pretty close at the end, till 33. So, and I can't, the last 2 years, I mean, we went to Dubai once in, I think, January, didn't we, or something?
No, we're talking about international breaks here, though.
Yeah, but I don't think I went away.
I'm just trying
we went to Dubai, we went as a team, didn't we?
Yeah. But that was like a 7...
I think Roy's right, it's just the way players are now, aren't they? I'm trying to think if we go back to our time and we had a few days off, would anybody have gone to America?
No, because what they would have done, back in our day when they had a few days off, Gal, they done what we done. Everybody just met up, had a drink, do stuff.
I want him to have an easy life.
Right.
So,
Marcus.
Well, he don't want an easy life, does he?
But I want him to have an easy life. So the idea that if you think about it, he went obviously to China White after the game against City, then went obviously
Is that still going, China White?
I could never get in there.
He then went to Belfast after the game last year and obviously got into trouble with that one, he got left out. And then now obviously this. We know if he's drinking or not, it's not a problem. But my point is, it's just these little things.
Of course he's drinking.
Of course he's drinking.
He's having a few.
My point is, I always think these little bugs, get rid of them out of your life. Just get rid of these little bugs. They're all over. You know what I mean?
How old is Marcus? Is he 22 now?
He attracts more bugs, doesn't he? He attracts more bugs. He goes looking for bugs.
You want these flies off you. Get away from
How old is he now?
He's 26, 27.
Gary, you feel strongly because you did everything right, didn't you? Because I think but you did.
But I think my teammates, to be honest with you, also did everything right in the dressing room most of the time in terms of...
No.
Roy, I know that you all had a drink and stuff. I know that, lads... But my point is, I don't think... If we were 14th in the league...
But we wouldn't have been fucking 14th.
Yeah, that's the point.
That's my whole point. If we were 14th, there'd be people murdered. That's it. we would have never got to 14th.
Right, okay.
You sort all out before you get to 14th. Once you're 14th, it's too late.
Your manager was still slaughtering you.
There's 3 young kids dead in the corner from the academy.
Your manager was slaughtering you when you're winning things.
Yeah. You would have had 4 days off, though, would you?
I ain't true enough.
14th in the league.
Who got upset a few weeks ago? Garnacho, the young kid.
Yes, Garnacho.
He said he got booed or something before that. Some stupid kid
comments to him, yeah.
We used to get booed off, and we were winning every week. Lads, get real.
And it was you booing them?
Yeah, but if you're only 1-0, but it's not good enough.
I know.
These lads are getting upset because some YouTube balloon is going, you need to run back. Of course you need to run back. You don't need that idiot to tell you.
Accept it, Gal, as that's where we are now with the guys. And then you see the outcome of
if this was a Liverpool player at top of the league, would we be asked about it?
Not as much.
That's what I mean, though.
If it was Trent at the weekend.
No, not as much. You're absolutely right.
Trent was going to get a mention, yeah.
My point is, if you're at the top of the league, you do get more forgiveness. You said it before, Jill. But I think if you're 13th in the league, your manager's just got sacked.
And they were 14th. What, 10 seconds?
They're 13th. They moved up in the last 5 minutes on goal difference.
The longer we talk on it, the more they're out of the league.
Champions by the end of this.
Down.
But how many points are they off top? How many points are they off?
They're not far off.
Well, listen, what's the big deal? A couple of games, he wins a couple of games. This is all forgotten.
No, but right, we're just having a conversation here about 13th in the league. The manager's been sacked. The new manager's coming in,
and they're all happy. Yeah.
And Casemiro and Marcus have travelled 12 hours away.
There might have been other players who've gone away, Gary.
They made them.
Yeah.
They made them.
I guarantee they did.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying, but there's more retention on them.
Yeah.
But I totally agree with that. You do get more leeway when you're winning.
Yeah, of course
you do. Because
They might have trained while they were out there.
Yeah.
They did
That's another
train.
thing,
I seen a post,
Did they?
and they loved the first session when they got back as well. With
They were
Amorim.
training when they were away.
Yeah, I think they were.
Yeah.
It was on social media.
They were training while they were away.
They were playing basketball.
Apparently, the private jet they had, Gal, it had gym facilities on it. So what do you do then? What do you do?
Me and Phil would have had that one. Me and Phil doing his quick feet.
They had an oxygen tent on it, so when they slept, they could go back to England time. You never know what
Gary,
they're
you'd be doing Pilates on the plane, you and Phil. I can imagine.
Me and Phil used to do exercises up and down the plane.
With Weetabix ready to go.
What exercises would you do up and down the plane?
What lads did we?
The train. Not the train.
On the train.
Bex used to go away. Did Bex used to do?
I was going to say,
trips? You know, Bex used to do stuff. We just nice to go back to her.
In the summer break, yeah, but not in the winter. I don't think.
Well, if we had a day off, I bet you he was shut back.
But that was the.
Yeah, but it's still that element of you're ducking and diving. It's 100% being
but you come into but Roy, you come into a point. That's why the tension started to grow, and obviously at that point, that's when obviously he left.
Yeah, but not just Bex. I mean, there was other lads that we'd be ducking and diving. We would do, but it was just different levels. I'd be going back to Ireland, go drinking for a couple of days. Yeah, but I wasn't going to the States.
It's Casemiro as well. When I bring Casemiro into it, he's 30 odd years of age. Those legs look like they don't need a 12-hour flight and an 8-hour time difference.
Yeah, but he needs a break.
He needs a break.
Right, I'm moving on. You know.
I think the general problem with this particular debate is, who cares? If they want to go on holiday during their personal time, then that is totally up to them. Ian Wright was right in what he was saying to a degree. Because if they've been given some time off, if they've got no other responsibilities at that moment, let them go. Fair enough. You go and do what you want to do. People need to recharge. People need to go away, spend some time with loved ones, do things that they enjoy, away from the circus that is professional football. But there's also an element of the dreaded microscope, which I've talked about on this channel quite a few times, actually. When it comes to Manchester United, every minute thing that you do, doesn't matter whether it's good or bad, it will be criticised, or it will be discussed, or it will be dissected. So there is that component as well when it comes to Manchester United. But, I mean, at the end of the day, if Manchester United were top of the league, would this debate actually happen? And I think that's probably the thing that I'm thinking about. Because I look at this from a fan's perspective. And the fan's perspective is, we spend a hell of a lot of money going to watch our team perform. And Manchester United, so far this season overall, haven't performed. We are not getting our money's worth. Manchester United fans, at the very least, want to see their team put the effort in. Because they know if they put the effort in, they will win games. And if they win the games, they will climb higher in the league and they will have chances to win competitions and whatnot. So that's what Manchester United fans expect. They expect them to win the league. I don't think the onus really is on Casemiro here. I think the onus is more on Marcus Rashford, because whenever I've seen Marcus Rashford play over the past 18 months, he doesn't look like he's putting the effort in. And if you've got a lot of fans who are paying, 50 pounds per ticket, and most of the fans that go and watch Manchester United, regardless of what Roy Keane says about prawn sandwiches and whatnot, most of them are working class, hard-working fans. So they might work 30, 40, 50, 60 hours per week to feed their families, to pay their mortgages, to pay their car finance and put food on the table and whatnot. And then that little bit of pleasure that they want to receive at the end of the week is going to watch Manchester United. And when Manchester United are not putting the effort in on the pitch, they are not getting their money's worth, because at the end of the day, football is entertainment. And football is a product. And if the fans are not satisfied with the product that they are paying for, then they are entitled to voice an opinion. And if Marcus Rashford specifically is not producing on the pitch, as Gary Neville rightly points out here, he scored 1 goal in 11 Premier League games? That's not good enough for a player that's on 300 grand a week. So if an employee of an organisation that's getting paid £300,000 per week is not putting the effort in, and then he's seen to be gallivanting abroad somewhere, courtside at some basketball game, taking pictures and selfies and swapping jerseys, blah, 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 then it's going to raise some eyebrows. And I think that Marcus Rashford should probably be a little bit more mindful, as was suggested in this clip, that, come on, mate, if you were on 25 goals already during the season, then fair enough, you're entitled to a break. But you haven't performed. And you've done nothing but moan over the past 18 months about the fans, them twining at me, blah, blah, blah. And then, as they were discussing there, you're at China Whites, or you're doing this, you're doing that. You're doing everything but perform on the pitch. And I think that's the sort of core issue here. It's not that the fans don't expect the players to, have some private time and to enjoy themselves or to pursue other interests. I mean, David Beckham swanned all over the world, as Roy Keane mentions here. He was on catwalks and things like that, but so what? He scored a 30-yard screamer at the weekend. Or at the very least, if he was crap one game, he always put the effort in. Roy Keane never complained about him. And Roy Keane complains about everyone. So I think that's the general gist here. If those two players were smashing it every week in, week out, then no one would care that they were in the USA. No one. I don't think it's a sort of professional issue in terms of, lying down for 12 hours and being stiff at training and whatnot. I think it's more of a fan's perspective issue. Perform week in, week out, or at least put the effort in, week out, and then you'll have all the leeway in the world with the fans. And if the media criticise you, say, well, I scored a hat-trick that week, I'm entitled to go to wherever on a little break. So, get to that level, and then no one's going to be having these conversations at all. So that's my 2 cents worth. But what do you guys think? Were they right to go away? Do you agree with me? Do you agree with Roy? Do you agree with Gary? What are your thoughts on this situation? Please put them in the comments. They are always welcome. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.